Alright, it is 9:29 a.m. I'm going to be looking for morning panic bounce plays. I'm going to be super cautious with LWLG because of how this one is trades. Although this is a big clean, it's just overall a somewhat liquid stock. It just trades very strangely. It's not the average pump and dump, so I'm just going to watch it really carefully just to play cautiously. Morning panic bounce plays with WSRC. HPIL, even though it's so low in the charts, it's consistently doing clean, give or take, not always, but more often than not, it's pretty clean. HPIL, not really. This one's like, I think I said it yesterday, the jealous little brother that doesn't do things right. But MDMP is going to be a watch, I guess, for some kind of a spike. That's the one I would watch for a morning spike. That's where I'm at the moment. Looks like it's going to drop, but we'll see. Alright, it is 9:39. I haven't traded anything. The cleanest one was WSRC. I did try to buy at 9:35, which was the next minute after here, the big volume candle. The issue is that I kind of had a bit of a gap up from this 27.52 to 27.85. I didn't want to chase this. As you can tell, it wasn't that much range either. I tried, it just kind of had a gap. I could have gotten executed though had I been maybe a bit earlier, but this gap kind of threw it off. And now I'm watching this for like a higher low, lower low, but I'd like to see another big volume candle. If I don't see that, I might not consider it. That is the same case with the other one. I think is which one is MDMP, I think. Although this one isn't really that perfect because it just spiked one other day. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll keep looking, but no, I didn't see any clean morning panic bounce plays. This one was just one candle. WSRC is probably the cleanest one, and it had that sketchy gap. LWLG is it's trading, but it's not offering volatility. HPIL is just bouncing back and forth, and PHIL looks worse. So that's where I'm at right now. Just nothing clear right now other than maybe higher lows or lower lows with WSRC and MDMP. Alright, it is 9:54. Yes, morning panic bounce plays, at least as of yesterday, they're not really good anymore, so I'm gonna have to take that into consideration. WSRC, I was interested in it. I don't know if I placed an order. I did at 26.05, 9:44. I didn't get executed. It was taking too long to get executed, so I just canceled the order. And I also didn't like how there's a big spread. As you can tell now, the spread is a penny, a little more than a penny. Sometimes it's half a penny. I don't like the spread, so I didn't consider it for that reason anymore. 26.05 is also not very clean. The initial morning panic bounce play, it was a little clean, but you know, compared to what I've seen recently, this is not the best. But that was the case. Big panic, big volume candle. That's why I considered at 9:44. It just didn't look nice. The price action and that horrible spread continued the downtrend, so that's unfortunate. MDMP, I just wasn't there when this one happened, but this one worked. Now we didn't have a big volume candle to make it extra easy, but I guess it was just holding this 18 level. Not too bad. And then I mean 18 and 19, so that's like 5%. That's not really that much range. It is speculative because it was only up one day, and this thing is known to spike 1 or 2 days and then just, you know, kind of downtrend and then have these little sketchy wiki days too. So just not the best setup really. HPIL, I might watch this. I mean, it is having a big volume candle here. I mean, maybe I might watch this one, but ideally this one cracks that 60 level, because that's a very important level of support. That would make it nice if it could do it. If it maybe drops, it tries, sucks in a bunch of dip buyers, cracks 60, and then creates some kind of max panic situation under 60, but people buy it back up. That would be a lot better, although it wouldn't be perfectly ideal because the time isn't necessarily, you know, closer to the market open. It's closer to 10 p.m. now, so it's not exact. LWLG, sketchy, potential inverse head and shoulders. I probably just won't trade this really. It could work though. I don't see why it can't. PHIL eventually spiked and broke out of this range. I don't think I would have traded it. It looked very sketchy the last time I saw it, but hey, that's a nice run up. Maybe it can do a really good run up so it can provide more range for morning panic bounce plays. GS, FI, I was considering it for a first dip towards VWAP setup, and then it just kind of cracked it. It was just being cautious with it. Then it cracked under it. I tried to buy at 950 at 12 to right here, but I wasn't getting executed immediately. Then I kind of stayed away from it, canceled the order. It looks like it dropped more, and then it bounced back here. It didn't get towards VWAP. Somebody said in the chat, they were right. They said not to trust this stock to bounce back towards VWAP. That was totally the case there. I mean, it's known to have like these one-day spikes and then downtrends immediately, so not really nice. Although this one does trade with a lot more volume today. That's where I'm at, I guess. I will be watching, what was it? HPIL. It's doing a bounce. I might have missed it, but I don't regret it because it's kind of later in the day. I'd like it more if it could crack 60. But if it doesn't look clean or just not exactly, you know, nice, I won't trade it, or maybe I'll just trade a small, you know, amount. I don't mind if I don't trade anything today. You know, I'm just waiting for good setups, I think. Alright, it's 10:17. I got in and out of a trade. In theory, this is a morning panic bounce play, high or low, because it is higher than this level right here. The issue with this one is just the price action. There was a lot of people dumping their shares on the bid. I didn't like how, I don't know, I wanted it to work very quickly. As you can tell, this one was quick, right? That it turned around immediately. And this one was just taking a bit too long. I didn't like it. I got a great execution with Schwab. It was at 6.4, which I think was the bid. I somehow got executed. Maybe it was like in the middle. I guess I'll find out right here. I can't really tell. So anyway, that was the case. I bought at 6.4 at 14, which was right here. Right here, this candle. Just thinking, alright, this thing could start to turn around right here, you know, higher low setup. It could still do it, by the way. I'm just, you know, I wanted it to work immediately, like very quickly. Not, you know, extremely quickly, but you know, ideally it would go to 6.8, right? And then I get in at, well, ideally 6.5, but I risk it going into 6.3 territory, which it could still hold and be a double bottom, no longer a higher low, but it looks like it's doing it now. It just took a lot of buying. Alright, this one wasn't bad because it worked rather quickly. I think I could have been a little more patient. I held for roughly a minute, and yeah, so I bought at 14 right here at 6.4. And I sold the next minute, almost the close of the next minute at 6.5. It took 1, 2, 3, 4 more minutes for it to actually do it. It's still not towards VWAP. That would be the goal. It looks like it's on the ask if anyone wants to take it. 6.7 has support. It worked out eventually, 6.4 to 6.8, not that much range, but you know, some of these break past VWAP and they keep uptrending. Alright, this one could have worked out had I have waited a bit longer, but still not at the VWAP level. And you see, I would go through some of these I know it's like, oh, but you held for a minute. I went through something like this where it would just not do anything for a really long time, although that one was a bit quick compared to the one I went through. But hey, it's working now. 6.8, I'd be trying to sell at, I'd maybe sell at 6.7 just because the price action is so strange. You know, just throw a share, you know, sell at the bid right there at 6.7 from 6.4. Okay, I mean, it's doing it. I had the right setup in mind. MDMP looks like, yeah, it looks like it's having a very low volume panic, so I'm not interested in it. LWLG is just trying to hang in, you know, just trying to hang around there. Maybe SRC did turn around, but this is a nice run up. It ran a lot more than what I think it would have done. This is you know, morning panic bounce, lower low setup, but this one was a bit choppy. I was interested in it back here. It had more room to drop. It got as low as 25. Maybe it held that solid number 25, and that's where it turned around. It got from 25 to VWAP 26. It got as high as 29. I'll make an update and see how this one does, if it just gets to VWAP and downtrends, if it uptrends higher. But I like seeing that the setup worked in my trading, you know, thing where I keep track of my trades. I'll put that the setup worked out. Sometimes I put eventually, but this one I could have waited just a few more minutes. Why not? I'll make an update later. PHIL, I was interested in the dip towards VWAP setup. It worked only a little bit, 83 to 86. That was it. I wasn't there when it really happened, and then when I was, I would have had to have bought at 85, and I felt like that was a bit of a chase. Didn't spike that much more. GSFI, I'll probably stay away from this just because it has a bad long-term chart. It shows that it can spike one day and just downtrend the rest, although I'll move it somewhere else. So that's where I'm at. I'll just look and see what HPIL does eventually. Alright, 1056. In theory, I could consider a buy here, but you know, I think about how much volume there is today and how much volume has been traded. There could be a lot of people who are just trying to sell. There's a lot of people on the ask. I could take a buy at like 9.12, I guess, and risk 9, but I don't know. It could totally work out. There is a wall of people on the ask, but it could hold $9. It could run towards VWAP, which would be nice, but I don't know. I just feel super iffy about this. It could just be like here where it kind of looks like it's trying to turn around, right, and then it just keeps downtrending. So I'm probably just not going to trade it. Even though if I take a buy now at 907 and I risk it cracking 9, maybe I risk $10 with some slippage. Maybe it would be kind of hard. Maybe there would be more slippage because $9 would break, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who's thinking about $9 as a risk level. But you know, this thing could just, the volume is fading, which is good because then that means there is potentially less people dumping their shares. But you know, this thing has been trading very sketchy, very strangely, but it could totally work out here. If it does, that'll be great. That'll be something I can learn from, but I might just take a step back. Maybe a max panic type of crack towards 9, but I don't like this price action. It wasn't like yesterday. WSRC, I guess in theory there was a dip towards VWAP here, but that wasn't really best case scenario because it was red on the day. HPIL, this one worked out. It didn't have to break VWAP at 6A, but it did. And just to go over it now, it looks really sick. Like, wow, my entry at 14, 6.4, right? And they got the 7.1. This setup worked. I just did not hold it long enough. This is one where I could have risked the level, you know, that I bought, or maybe even risked 6.4 here. I guess maybe this is 6.4.5. I'm not sure. But that was the case here. It eventually worked out. It didn't have to crack VWAP. I wouldn't have mind, you know, if I traded it and I sold at 6.8 and I got the 7.2. That's fine. Maybe it could have sold half, right? But that's totally fine in and of itself. And PHIL, I'm not too interested in this one. So really, I just want to see what happens with LWLG. This one could turn around. It really could. It doesn't have to, but it can. It totally can. In theory, I could have taken a buy at 907. I could still trade it right now, but I don't think I will. It could totally work. I'll make an update to see if it works or not. Alright, 11:14. I want to make an update. Yeah, LWLG fell off a cliff. look how easy it is to short this stock once it's on the backside of the move. Right, it was still uptrending here. Still uptrending, right? And then today, not today, but the next day, you had a gap up, panic, you know, crazy volatility, $17, and now, excuse me, it's the backside of the move. It's so easy now because I can't short because I accidentally broke PD2, but that's that same setup where you crack VWAP, yet slightly above it. It's like a confirmed breakdown right here. Cracks VWAP, tries to get past it again, falls off a cliff. 10, although this would have been hard to hold, especially here. This would have been hard. 10 to 8, still has a lot more range. People could be trying to sell their shares. The issue is that there is a lot of volume here, so a lot of people are trying to sell their shares. You know, it's a supply-demand thing. I was right to not take a trade here, even though it looked like it could potentially hold at that $9 level. And here, you know, when it cracked 9, I don't know how bad the price action was before it cracked it. Maybe it was bad enough that I'd say, okay, I'm gonna cut it right here. I was, you know, looking at it, it was uptrending for just a little. It was like it was a trap. And then I'm not sure how exactly, you know, it worked here in terms of slippage, but it got to 89 rather quickly. So there was slippage there. Try to hold itself, it fell even more. That's the case with that. MDMP, nothing I want to trade. WSRC, yeah, nothing I want to trade. HPIL, setup worked, it worked, just should have held better. PHIL, nothing. Probably no more trades the rest of the day, and that's totally fine. I'll keep looking, but I'm just casually watching YouTube videos, looking at other stuff. I'm not completely glued to the screen here trying to find any kind of magic setups, at least, especially right now being midday. So that's where I'm at. I had one trade. I don't know how profitable it would have been if it went, you know, if I sold at 6A. I guess it would have been a little more profitable, because right here was just what, 1%, right? I'm not extremely sure, but that's where I'm at right now. Alright, it's 1:42. I want to make an update. I think, I don't remember anymore. I was interested in it. Yeah, it was around here when I was interested in it. It had a lot more room to drop. I wonder how much volume. That is a lot of volume. Okay, so almost 4 million shares. I could definitely wipe out a lot of bag holders. Well, not really bag holders, because it was at a profit, at least for a lot of them, I'm gonna guess. But I probably got a lot of people to sell their shares who were thinking about it. I saw this imperfect looking thing. I thought, okay, it could be an inverse head and shoulders. Sure, it kind of was one shoulder, head, shoulder, but it was lower than the head. It wasn't really exact. Didn't necessarily want to be a part of it. Made a nice run from 7 to 9. I don't regret missing this one. It wasn't like yesterday. Yesterday was much more clearer. And then it had that big volume candle right there, and it barely broke under 10, max panic, and it held, right? I said that yesterday around 2 p.m. I think. This is still nice. I mean, it hit VWAP. It got more than VWAP. That's very nice. HPIL, nothing. I was interested in it here. I bought at 14, 6.4. It worked up towards 72. Nice. PHIL, nothing. WSRC, nothing. Which one did I guess I'm logged out? Yeah, I traded HPIL. WSRC was that imperfect morning panic bounce play that it had that little gap up there. The lower low worked. I mean, I guess in theory, right, from 24 to, you know, I got to as high as 29. There we go, that 1030 level, give or take. Dip towards VWAP. I didn't see any of this. MDMP doesn't look nice, and there are not any very nice, at least last time I checked. I didn't see anything that was nice in terms of a first day green day runner, so yeah, I'll make an update at the market close, but I probably won't trade anything else today. Very nice run with LWLG. Alright, it is 7:48. I'm just here to call it off. Today I made a whopping $3.25 trading HPIL, which was all the way back at 1014. It was this move right here that eventually worked out. I took a buy again at 1014, and that was a sick entry again at 6.4. I sold at 6.5. Should have held longer, should have probably have been more patient. Had I have risked the low of 6.4, or maybe even it cracking 6.3, that would have really worked out, because VWAP was right at 6.8. It did get as high as 7.2, although this doesn't always happen, but it did get to 6.8. So I can improve there. WSRC, which I have right here, I missed my entry because it wasn't really a perfect. It wasn't perfect. It just wasn't. I didn't get executed. It was a morning panic bounce play. It did work, but it had this gap right here that really threw me off. Maybe if I was a bit quicker, I would have gone into it, but you know, I didn't move that much. I mean, in theory, and at what, that yeah, 2605 level right here, right, 26, and wait, was it 26? Yeah, 935. 935 was 2749. So yeah, 27 right here, and then it did get the VWAP at 28. It wasn't that much range ultimately. It wasn't that nice. The drop was give or take 10%. If it was maybe a 20-15% drop, it would have been more profitable, but that's a right good attempt. And then I tried again at 944. Right, yeah, right about here for a potential higher low, I guess. It didn't work out. Price action looked bad. Was it really down here at 2605? Yeah, I remember. I just didn't get executed. It was trading all weird. Yeah, it wasn't a higher low. It was down here. It's been a while. I forgot. GS. What was it? GSFI. That one just faded the entire day, and that showed in the daily charts. 950 right here was just like to buy a potential dip under VWAP, because I was going for a dip towards VWAP, but once it cracked it, I thought about it, and at what, 229, it dropped more from where I would have bought in theory. I wasn't getting executed immediately. I mean, not eventually. Didn't like the price action. Canceled. It did do a bounce from that 11 to. So, but it wasn't really that nice. Again, just a crappy. You know, it shows that it can spike for one day and just fade. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Overall, MDMP, no, nothing. The rest of the day, WSRC faded. That's nice with LWLG. It got to 959. I did see it, but I didn't trade it. I don't mind not trading this. It wasn't as clean as yesterday. HPIL just traded back and forth. PHIL. I guess it did a nice uptrend later, but yeah, that's about it. Just not really that good today. It wasn't really that many nice setups. There were a few in theory, but nothing really nice. Good week, great way to end it. Just one trade, you know, could have worked out if I held better. And yeah, that's it. I look forward to the weekend, and God willing, I'll be back Monday.